Alright, in this video, so there's a thing going around about AI, and there's all kinds of AI doing visual art, and there is a topic of AI and the future of music, and that's what we're discussing today. I just want to give my thoughts on artificial intelligence and its place in music. I do think it's a cool idea. It does make things easier. However, I think that we lose the fun. You know, like that's the point. At least to me, that's the point of doing music, is that you're sitting down, or you're singing, you're playing guitar, you're playing keys, you're making synthesizer sounds, you're tweaking things, you're doing sound design, you're mixing, you know, all of that stuff. Using artificial intelligence, it makes music lose value because the creation part is taken out, and essentially we've reduced that creation part to a mathematical process, when as a musician, it's about expressing yourself, and, you know, having an AI do it. It's not about it. It's we've lost the point. Like it becomes not about the art, but more about, okay, this is the mathematical process that will take us to somewhere. I wouldn't even call it creative. It's just a mathematical process, and it creates something that hopefully is acceptable to whoever's creating that or whoever's inputting the information in order for that AI to create music. And I think it takes the fun out of it. Ultimately, that's the point of doing music, is that yes, it's an expression. Music is an expression. It can be a person's way to deal with trauma or issues or problems or whatever it is. But ultimately, it's about having fun. And when you give that, once you start using AI, you are, at least for me, there's no fun in it anymore. It's become a thing of like, oh well, I'm just gonna give it to this AI and put in my terms, and then of course the AI calculates a bunch of shit and then spits out a piece of music, and there is no blood, sweat, and tears involved anymore. It's just a mathematical process, and I actually think music will lose its value if that becomes commonplace, because now it's just something that, yeah, it's just reduced to numbers, and then, you know, there is no fun anymore. And I will be honest, if my favorite band, Nine Inch Nails, started using artificial intelligence to write their songs, and they let their audience know, I would probably stop listening to them, because it's now not a process for Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. It's now become just a thing they input into a computer and into an artificial intelligence, and the artificial intelligence spits out music, and it just, there's no human in it anymore. There's no expression, there's no emotion, you know. And I'm not saying don't use artificial intelligence. This is my perspective on it. You know, I personally, you know, I'm not going to start using artificial intelligence to write my music. I love the process. I love the creation process. I love the sound design. I love the mixing. I love the mastering. I love writing, I love singing, you know. I'm not gonna give that up. And I do have some suggestions as far as you as a musician. If you care about your followers or your fans and having fun, I would say keep creating. keep writing music, keep recording, keep singing, keep doing the sound design, keep mixing, mastering, whatever it is. I would also suggest, recruit or hire musicians. That's the thing about AI. It's like it actually takes. There is reasons for using it. If you're disabled or can't physically actually make music, I can understand the reason to use artificial intelligence, because then you're curating, you're inputting, whoever it is inputting information, and then the AI spits it back out. And if you can't actually physically perform music or sing, that makes sense if you're disabled. Like, yes, sure, fine. That makes complete and total sense. There's nothing wrong with that. However, for me, I can physically do music, and I do think that hire and recruit musicians to write your music when you can. It's the whole debate. It's like the automation thing in factories, like car building factories. Like, everything gets automated, and it's like, well, the workers that would be in the factory building those vehicles are now jobless because it's all automated now. And there's other jobs within the factory, like, oh, we need somebody to program this machine, or we need somebody to service this artificial intelligence or whatever. But ultimately, using artificial intelligence, you're taking, I don't want to say it's the same argument as, a factory, but it is kind of the same argument. It is kind of taking the jobs out of, professional musicians. And I'm not one of those people that's like stuck in the past and I should just get with the program. I know for me, other people, sure, if you want to use artificial intelligence to write music, nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong. But for me, I enjoy the process, and I like having fun, and that is a part of my fun. So I'm not going to give up doing that. And that's the thing about, artificial intelligence and first, like, the difference between artificial intelligence and humans. Humans are not perfect. Artificial intelligence will get to a point where, with enough machine learning, enough of that kind of programming, it will eventually, it'll be able to write things that are perfect, or at least perfect in the sense of the limitations of the programming that we use to create the artificial intelligence. But for me, it's about connection, it's about human connection, and you don't have that when you've reduced it to a mathematical equation that spits out something after you put in these whatever your information is that you're inputting into the artificial intelligence to create your music. And granted, artificial intelligence currently can't do things perfectly, but when it can, I think, and without fucking driving this point into someone's skull or your skulls, I think we've lost the point of the creative process, because it isn't that is the point. It isn't an expression anymore, it's just a mathematical equation. And granted, whoever's using the artificial intelligence would be curating the sounds. It's still not an expression of yourself, because you've not put your blood, sweat, or tears into that. You've not expressed yourself with the music. You've not created it yourself. It's now a machine that's doing that. It's not you. And I do have some thoughts about artificial intelligence in general, and I think where people lose the point with artificial intelligence is, yeah, it's cool that we build these machines that are smart enough to do things for us, but what ends up happening is we're not using that part of our brain anymore. We have a machine that's doing it, and now we're, at least the way I think about the way it works, we're not using that part of our brain anymore to do that for ourselves. And what ends up happening is I do think that because we're not using that part of our brain anymore, we're not using that knowledge anymore. Now it's just like, yes, we need to know how to program so that we can program the artificial intelligence to do these things, but we're still not using that part of our brain anymore to actually do these things. And I do think that a possibility is that society and humanity will regress evolutionary. At least our minds won't, they'll de-evolve or whatever, because we're not actually using that part of our brain anymore. And yeah, that's kind of where I think artificial intelligence will take humanity, or maybe not take humanity, but what will kind of happen to humanity. What do you think? What do you think about artificial intelligence creating art, whether it's visual or music or audio, whatever? What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. If you feel this video has value, please share it with your friends or your family, whatever. And hit that subscribe button to be notified when the next video comes out. So thank you for watching. See you in the next video.